we as consumers should be charged for every man-made ingredient and additive that is in a food, so that the healthful quality foods become less expensive. We're only one of a handful of countries where the quality foods are more expensive than all of the processed things. So if we can change the incentive structure where they are penalized, or that it changes even the cost of those foods for the end consumer to say it's less expensive for me to get the apples and transport the apples than it is the Ritz crackers, then I think that's how we make a dent.
Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries.
Hey friend, welcome back to a new episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm Jenn Trepeck, your health and lifestyle coach, here with you every week for Wellness Without the Weirdness. Joining me today is a familiar voice for our longtime listeners. Steph is back. Hi.
Hey, Jen.
How are you?
Hey, everybody. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so today's episode is inspired by the social media trend of 90s versus now. So I don't know, maybe you've seen it. Essentially, I don't know. I saw it first with celebrities. Is that what you saw too?
Yeah, celebrities and now athletes are doing it. It's actually really cool.
Yeah, so they essentially show a picture of them now, and then the text on screen is like, Mom or Dad, like, what were you like in the 90s? And then it flashes to photos of them from the 90s. And so like with a lot of these celebrities, it's like their hit TV shows or album covers or, you know, whatever they were doing in the 90s.
Yeah, like I just saw like some NBA player and it was, you know, that was their prime of their career was in the 90s and it's cool.
Yeah. So we were talking about this and then we were like, wait a minute. Because of all the 90s nostalgia that's happening too, there's conversation about food from the 90s. So today we're talking about 90s versus now food, and I've added to that food labels and diet culture. So we're going to kind of go through each piece of this. And by the way, with the foods, not only do I have some of like what the ingredients were in something in the 90s versus what the ingredients are now, but you and I together, Steph, put together a list of like our current day versions of foods we ate in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to start with those.
I'm so excited because I literally ate them all.
Okay, perfect. Okay, awesome. So one more piece of housekeeping, the Happy Healthy Hub. So friends, are you a member? Members, I'm sending you 2 recipes this week. Both are fitting for today's episode, which you'll see as we get into it. So the first recipe is for Healthier Hamburger Helper, a full meal, 1 pot. I think it's 1 pot, more or less. And your other recipe is for Fruit Leather. So you're going to make it yourself, know exactly what's in it. It's easier than you think it is. So if you want these recipes, be sure you're a member of the Happy Healthy Hub. You'll go to asaladwithasideoffries.com/membership for just $12 a month. Or by the way, you can prepay a year and get 2 months free. So a year for $120. You get weekly recipes, curated articles, discounts from me and our partners, expert interview episodes in full video, including some behind-the-scenes content, access to the community board where we can interact, ask and answer questions, and so much more. It really is the next best thing to working with me as your health coach in my signature 12-week program. So maybe that's a fit for you, maybe it's not, but the Happy Healthy Hub is always an option and super affordable and accessible. So if you're ready to level up and support this podcast at the same time so we can keep doing this with you, go to asaladwithasideoffries.com/membership. Or you can click the link in the episode notes and then you don't have to remember the whole URL. Once you click, you'll then follow the prompts to enter your payment info and create your login to access the hub. And as a reminder, you'll get this week's recipes for Healthier Hamburger Helper and Fruit Leather.
I mean, that's such a 90s nostalgia too. Like Hamburger Helper. I remember those commercials with the guy that was like the oven mitt.
Yes.
And then Fruit Leather, like fruit roll-ups. Oh my God.
I remember Shake and Bake. That just made me think of Shake and Bake. I would say today's Shake and Bake is panko.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Hamburger Helper, I was thinking about this. When I did the Costco walkthrough, there were definitely some like pre-made meals that are kind of the modern version of a hamburger helper, I think. So the fruit roll-up is the fruit leather. You know, our members are getting that recipe. We talked about Lunchables.
Oh, yeah.
So by the way, though, which Lunchables did you? Because they were the big ones and the small ones.
Oh,
the ones that came with a dessert, the ones that didn't.
I think just the OG with like the meat, the cheese, and the crackers.
Yeah.
And like I remember somebody once threw the meat against the wall in the lunchroom. We were in like elementary school and it stuck for a few days.
Why didn't anyone take it off?
That's probably the bigger question, but like...
I digress.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of sodium in that.
Yeah. Okay, so today's Lunchable, there's sort of two that we came up with. One is the Starbucks boxes.
Yep.
They have the one that's like the cheese and fruit.
Yep.
They have the one that's the egg.
It's got like
the crumpet thing, the grapes,
Yep.
the nut butter that has honey in it. And then, of course, a charcuterie board.
Oh, yeah. Our generation, like, you know, now that we've, you know, home like hosting. Exactly. Yes. Everybody puts out a charcuterie board. It's the same thing. It's like meat, hopefully ones that don't stick to walls, cheese, you know, all the things.
And then it made me think of, as we were going through this, I was like, what's today's like TV dinner? So like I grew up on, what were they called? It was like the kids' meals that were like the frozen lunches where there was like whatever the entree was, a side or two, and then a desserty thing.
Kids cuisine.
Thank you. Kids cuisine. Yeah. So I feel like today's version of like kids cuisine or, you know, a TV dinner is like Factor meals, like all of the meal delivery things that we get now.
I mean, for me, it was such a treat to have a kids cuisine because it meant usually like my mom was like out that night and my dad could like microwave this and you always got like whatever the entree was, but there was always like the little dessert thing and it was like some chocolate pudding with sprinkles or whatever. But that's what we like it's kind of like a treat, like, oh, it's convenient, you don't want to cook, and that, like, to your point, the Factor meals today for sure.
Yeah. And then, I don't know about you, so after school, in middle school, my friends and I, a couple friends, like we would go back to someone's house and make like mac and cheese. And oftentimes we would bake, like we'd make a cake. We'd bake. Yeah. I don't know. We made a lot of stuff. We would bake after school.
From a box.
Yeah. We would bake. But the Kraft Mac and Cheese, which when we get to the labels later, I have a then and now on Kraft Mac and Cheese label. What do you think is today's Kraft Mac and Cheese?
Well, it's like those Annie's, like white cheddar. Or like I make it, which is actually really delicious, like the Banza white shells in cheddar. So like the chickpea pasta. Yeah, I still love that.
Yeah. And then cereals, we'll also come back to cereals when we have some labels because I have then and now of labels. I feel like cereals now, everybody, I don't know, there's the Magic Spoon.
Oh, yeah.
That's the healthier version of our retro cereals.
Yep.
Ish. I feel like we did a nutrition nugget on at least one flavor from Magic Spoon.
Yeah, maybe.
I think a while ago. And then, I don't know, I feel like these days too, like Raisin Bran was always tons of sugar, but it's probably worse now.
And like Special K, that was like marketed as like the diet cereal.
Oh, the Special K diet.
Like Special K with and then the red berries. Oh,
yeah.
I loved Special K red berries.
I'm going through like mentally the grocery store. So cereal, then I think of like crackers. So it was like Wheat Thins and Triscuits. Now I see Nut Thins.
Oh, yeah.
And like Mary's Gone crackers.
Or like the almond flour ones. I love those almond flour crackers by Simple Mills.
Yes. What do you think when I think of 90s, because we had, you know, fat-free everything, right? It was the SnackWell's life.
Oh, yeah.
Like we had, remember the SnackWell's angel food ones that were like, at that time, supposed to be sort of a healthier version of some kind of like Girl Scout cookie-ish.
Yeah.
What's today's version of SnackWell's?
I don't know, but there's a lot of like, I don't know. All I can think of is like that like Halo Top ice cream that's like you can eat the whole thing and there's no fat. There's nothing in there.
We talked about that in our April Fool's episode, so everybody can go back to that.
But no, like I remember those devil food SnackWell's cookies.
Yes.
But it was like my mom had because that was like her treat. Like I couldn't have them. I was like a kid. You know?
I still ate them. I don't know. We ate all the same things in my house, always. And then speaking of diets, Special K, SlimFast, bars, shakes, all the things. I think we still have bars, shakes, all the things.
Oh, yeah.
We just have different branding on it because SlimFast, we'll talk about this when we get to the diet culture piece, but maybe we're back to like SlimFast being the branding that would work.
Yeah, like why our generation is obsessed with like protein shakes and smoothies and all this is because we were told like just have a can of SlimFast for lunch or like eat a SlimFast bar for that's your lunch.
Right. Eat less.
Yeah, and we didn't even look at what was in them. It was just like, oh, it's just got, you know, how many calories.
It must have everything you need.
And that's good because it's SlimFast. And you're like, I'm on the SlimFast diet.
Right. Ugh. I can't. I have so many thoughts. All right, moving along. SlimFast brought us to Slim Jims. I know these hold a special place in your heart.
Well, I feel like this is kind of where this whole episode originated is I was eating the Chomps version, which I feel like is pretty clean. And I was telling you that I keep them in my bag, you know, at work if I need like a snack or whatever, I'm traveling. And I said, but don't be fooled. Like the OG of this was a Slim Jim and I loved me a Slim Jim.
I think they were too salty for it because in my house, we lived under every fad diet there was. And of course, part of fat-free, sugar-free was also salt is the enemy.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, I know I've tasted a Slim Jim and I just, like in my head, the only thing that sticks with me is like salty.
Oh, I loved Slim Jims.
But now we have all kinds of, you mentioned Chomps, but there's also all kinds of jerky.
Oh, jerky is having a moment.
And like, you know, I'm obsessed with the Think creamy peanut butter bars.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I was, but Think had jerky. And I just made a mental note. I was like, oh, didn't know they made jerky.
Yeah. But back in the 90s, I feel like beef jerky was like a very specific type of person if you ate beef jerky. Like not Slim Jims, but like true jerky. It was like you worked out a lot, like a dude. Like you don't see women being like, oh, I'm going to have beef jerky. And now you see all these like wellness influencers being like, I have this grass-fed jerky and I keep it on me.
I mean, because we have gone protein packed instead of fat-free.
Exactly.
Yeah. So today's version of fat-free is the protein packed.
Yep.
I remember too, also part of the fat-free, all the fake foods, we were big, I can't believe it's not butter people in my house.
Oh yeah. I grew up on margarine.
Yeah. And then the spritzers, so there was a same shape bottle as the I can't believe it's not butter spray. There was also the spritzer spray salad dressings.
Oh, yeah. I use those. Yeah.
You know, like the vinaigrettes that were in the spray.
Yep.
You could mist your greens.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now we have misters that you could buy and just put your olive oil in it.
Right.
Which I think is a level up.
I like the delivery of it because it's like dressing on the side, but then this time you can kind of just spray.
Yeah. And then as I was looking for some of these food labels, and because the phones are always listening and it heard us talking about it, you and I were both fed the same Instagram stuff.
Yeah.
That mentioned kudos bars.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, today's kudos. But meanwhile, at the time, the chocolate chip one. So it was basically like a granola bar with chocolate chips.
Yep.
Which, let's back up. It was sugar mixed with some oats with some chocolate chips in it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think today's version is Kind bars.
Yeah.
Protein bars. I mean, I don't love Kind bars, but it's the same kind of thing where it's like you feel like it's a quality choice and then you're like, wait, this is a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
A lot of protein bars fall into that category of glorified candy bars.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, these are a bunch of snack things along with the kudos bars. So handy snacks.
Oh my God.
So handy snacks were the ones where you had the cracker and the red plastic rectangle that was used as a knife.
Yep. Yep.
And then you would spread the cheese in air quotes.
Cheese in air quotes. Yeah.
Or was it the same handy snacks that were the orange crackers with the peanut butter? No,
that's different.
Else.
No, but handy snacks were like, oh man, it was like that artificial cheese. Yeah, you'd spread it on. The cracker was buttery and salty.
Yeah. Those were club crackers.
Yep, club crackers.
They still exist.
Yeah.
They are still delicious.
Yeah.
Right. But today's handy snacks, You had this one, which I thought was great, of like the Sabra little things of hummus with like pretzels in the top.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, you can take the kids out of the 90s, but you can't take the 90s out of the kids, apparently.
I mean, I do miss, we need to figure out how to bring back the red stick somehow, but yeah.
I mean, I think they could figure that out. Like, you could just add a little red stick for the hummus.
Yeah.
Maybe it would upgrade to like a bamboo little spoon that's like biodegradable.
Right. Well, I mean, I have so many thoughts on like, yeah, we were very microplastic heavy.
Yeah.
From the snack food.
To say the least.
Yeah.
And then Dunkaroos.
Again, loved these. Like the little graham crackers, there were chocolate ones, vanilla ones, and then the
were
icing.
They all Teddy Grahams? Or no?
I think they look like a duck or something. Like they are kangaroo. But then you dunked them in the frosting. And so my favorite was like the funfetti frosting.
Obviously.
Oh, man. It was so good.
Well, and today you have
the Nutella dippers. So you have like Nutella, like you see them when you go to the grocery store, Nutella, and then they come with the breadsticks.
Yeah. All right, a couple drinks. Today we have cold pressed juice, also part of our April Fool's episode. Back in the day, it was Capri Sun and Sunny D.
Oh my God, Sunny D was like, yeah.
What did they call it? It was orange juice like? Or an orange flavored
drink or something.
Oh yeah, orange flavored drink. I think that's what it was.
Remember like the Ecto coolers?
Yeah.
That had like the Ghostbuster guy on it, and it was like green, but like it tasted orange.
That I don't remember.
Yeah.
But those weren't really my vibe. We were big soda people. And by soda at the time, it was pop.
Oh yeah.
And we had an entire refrigerator that was just pop. Or we also had Crystal Light.
Oh yeah, Crystal Light. Oh
so
yeah.
So today on those, we have Poppy, like all the probiotic sodas.
Yep.
And then Crystal Light made me think of all the electrolyte packets.
Oh, yeah. And like all this flavored sparkling water, too.
And like the Mio and things that you could like add to your water to give them flavor.
Yep.
Over the years. And then alcohol or mocktails.
Uh-huh.
Like alcohol. So you and I were out watching sports and sitting at a bar watching this bartender pour so many Aperol Spritz.
So many. And it was like there's a time and a place for a Spritz, and it was like 45 degrees. Like it was not Spritz season. And I'm like, oh my God. But yes, when we were little,
we sat there, we were like, well, that was a Shirley Temple. Like,
all day Shirley Temples. Yeah.
My nephew loves a Shirley Temple, although he has upgraded to like a mudslide, a virgin mudslide.
Yeah, yeah.
So speaking of virgin drinks, mocktails are all over every menu these days.
Oh, yeah.
And then today we have Truly and whatchamacallit, Moon. High Noon.
High Noon, yes.
All of those seltzers were, I remember, I'm apparently sharing this for the world, that being underage and drinking like Zima and Boone's Farm and like these wine coolers and
wine
things.
coolers. Wine coolers were the hot drink in the 90s. My parents would have barbecues. They have wine coolers, and I would always be like, can I have a sip of a wine cooler? I'm like 10, you know. But like they just seem so cool. And like you couldn't find a wine cooler now.
Right. My favorite food as a kid was, and maybe this was before the 90s, but I was a PB&J girl.
Oh, yeah. What kind of jelly, though?
Strawberry.
Okay. Yeah. I like raspberry.
Grape is my second.
Ooh,
as a kid,
Yeah.
it was strawberry. If the only option was grape, then fine. A lot of times at camp, it was very hard to get the strawberry. Like it was first selected always.
Yeah.
But as an adult, I really enjoyed raspberry.
Yeah, raspberry.
Anyway, I think today's version is like a smoothie bowl.
Oh,
with
yeah.
nut butter on top.
Oh, totally. Anything pliables.
Yeah. All right. This is our nostalgia piece for the moment. Let's pause to highlight our partner, and then we're going to come back and compare some food labels of then and now so we can see literally the difference, because foods are absolutely not the same. And then I also want to talk diet culture then versus now.
Sounds great.
Okay. One reader described my book, Uncomplicating Wellness, as refreshing, honest, and deeply human. Another said it reminded them that they are the expert of their own body. And I have to tell you all, like for me, hearing from readers might be my favorite part of this whole thing, because truthfully, somewhere along the way, wellness became about outsourcing our trust. outsourcing it to influencers, to trends, to the rigid rules, or these one-size-fits-all plans. Uncomplicating Wellness, the book, helps you take that back and trust yourself again. It gives you tools, context, and clarity without guilt, extremes, and certainly without pretending that there's only one right way to be well. So if you want wellness to make sense again and to feel like it belongs to you, text the word book, B-O-O-K, to 833-801-0500 to learn more. Again, text the word book, B-O-O-K, to 833-801-0500. Okay, so admittedly, when I was trying to find online all of the old labels from 90s or earlier compared to products today, it was very difficult to find. And I am relying on other people who have posted this because they found them. So some of them are from the 2000s, like early 2000s, maybe the year 2000. Some of them are from the 90s. But I want to start with Wonder Bread.
Oh, yeah.
We were not Wonder Bread people in my house. We were always whole wheat people, not white bread. Were you guys white bread?
We were Wonder Bread. Yeah. When I was younger, my grandma was tried and true Wonder Bread.
Really?
Till the day she died.
So original ingredients in Wonder Bread were enriched wheat flour, water, sugar, yeast, salt, milk, and butter.
Okay. Those all seem like ingredients to me.
Legit food.
Correct.
All right. Wonder Bread now. Enriched flour, water, high fructose corn syrup, soybean oil, wheat gluten, salt, dough conditioners, mono and diglycerides, datum, D-A-T-E-M, all in caps, I don't know, enzymes, soy lecithin, preservatives are calcium propionate, citric acid, and then synthetic vitamins. Like when people say, I ate this as a kid and I was fine.
Yeah.
We need to recognize that the same food was not the same. Even, and we've talked about this in other episodes, but even apples today don't have the same nutrition as an apple from 20, 30 years ago, or broccoli or spinach or all of these things. So it's worth just sort of thinking through a little bit. All right,
it makes me feel better about my choices back then.
For real. It's different. I should have seen if we could find a Slim Jim.
Oh, yeah.
We'll maybe look after. By the way, if you're listening and you have, first of all, a nostalgic food choice, throw it in the comments. Definitely on Spotify, you can comment on the episodes. I think Apple is adding some of that stuff. Or send a message. Tell us your favorite nostalgic food and what today's version is. Or if you're able to find a then and now package of Slim Jim, send it in. Okay, you ready for this Kraft Mac and Cheese?
Yes.
From the year 2000, macaroni, Kraft cheddar cheese, skim milk powder, whey powder, salt, sodium phosphonate, color, and citric acid.
Okay. I don't know what color means, but yeah.
It may be that the sodium phosphate was for color, unclear, but they use some kind of color, whatever. Okay, this is very difficult to read. I'm going to try. Let's see, I have to zoom in a ton. Okay, Kraft Mac and Cheese now. The pasta is made from wheat flour, some percent, I can't read what percent wheat flour. Then the cheese sauce powder, milk protein powder, milk protein something, annatto extract. By the way, I have a friend who gets the annatto, gives her migraines.
I don't even know what that
So
is.
be careful. It's a food dye, essentially. Sometimes it's in salmon also to like give it a different color, the salmon, so it's a more potent color. So it tends to give that like orangey pink color to things, or here yellowish.
Yeah.
Then there's cheese that's made of milk, skim milk, powder, cornstarch, and salt. Then it contains wheat gluten and may contain eggs and soy. The list is a lot longer.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. McDonald's French fries in 2000. The ingredients, potatoes, beef tallow, and salt.
Beef tallow.
It's making a comeback.
Wow.
Okay. Today's McDonald's French fries: potatoes, vegetable oil, which is canola, corn, and soybean, natural beef flavor, wheat and milk derivatives in that, dextrose, sodium acid pyrophosphate, salt, citric acid, TBHQ, and dimethyl polysiloxane. I don't even know what that is.
Wow.
It's a lot.
Wow.
Uh-huh. So admittedly, the chicken nuggets are almost also from McDonald's.
Yeah.
Almost as difficult to read as the Kraft Mac and Cheese now, but I can tell you the list is inordinately longer
Yeah.
and really not a lot of actual foods. But the original Chicken McNuggets.
Which I always got, by the way, in my Happy Meal. It was always a Chicken McNugget Happy Meal.
Same.
With honey.
Ooh. Yeah. I didn't always get honey, but
I was
that's
not
a
the
good call.
ketchup girl. I like the honey. Fries in the honey.
Barbecue sauce.
No, honey. Honey in the chicken nuggets, honey on the fries.
All right. So McDonald's Chicken McNuggets in the 90s was chicken breast, water, salt, seasonings of salt, pepper, and spices, wheat flour, corn flour, starch, and vegetable oil.
Yeah, that sounds like I could buy some chicken and make that tonight.
More or less.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I should attempt to read the other one. So 2025 Chicken McNuggets, chicken breast that's 45%, water, vegetable oils, rapeseed and sunflower, wheat flour, starches, modified cornstarch, wheat starch, salt, wheat gluten, spices, flavorings, and what does that say? Raising agents? And then a bunch of like diphosphates, sodium something else that I can't read, stabilizers, vegetable fiber, yeast extract, paprika extract. That paprika extract is definitely for color.
Yeah.
The ingredients don't need to be that long. Why can't we,
Well, I was going to ask you a question because I'm sitting here and I'm looking at your ingredients list and I'm like,
Yeah.
I wonder if, clearly we've had different laws change in terms of food labels, but is it maybe the same and it's just we have to like specify like what's in the chicken breast or what's in something versus before? Like the Kraft one, it just said macaroni, but the new one like described how the macaroni
What was in the noodle.
made. Yeah.
It's a yes and. So yes, we have different labeling rules. So I think it was around 2014-ish where even a lot of these foods took out some of their genetically modified ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you have this pendulum swing between, I don't know, pendulum swing might not be the right analogy. Maybe it's a fine line or sort of threading a needle of the labeling, that the information they have to disclose, and how do we continue to give people what they want and earn more money on it?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these ingredients, like using less chicken and substituting or bulking up that nugget with other things like wheat gluten, the wheat gluten's a lot less expensive than the chicken. Or using, like a lot of them, for years we would talk about them using what's called we call it pink slime.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of these leftover parts of the chickens. And it's gross, but it's a lot less expensive. It helps you get more out of every bit of the chicken or every bit of that input. And so as a company, and this is where now we're sort of in a rabbit hole, but like my soapbox, and when we talk about changing the food industry, like I appreciate all of the work that a lot of people I know personally are doing with Maha and with some of these food companies and lobbying, and like I appreciate what they're doing. At the same time, what it took to get a couple of colors removed from our foods, we don't have the time to wait to have that same effort for every single thing that is included in these foods.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe the way to change the food industry is to change the incentive structure. Right now, they are incentivized to have less and less costly ingredients and keep their same price or raise it because a lot of factors in that. So they're incentivized to use cheaper and cheaper ingredients, which gets us to a lot of these man-made and a laboratory things. a lot more of the preservatives that make it last longer. So they have less stuff going bad.
Right.
So to me, the way to adjust this is that I believe they should be charged, and we as consumers should be charged for every man-made ingredient and additive that is in a food, so that the healthful quality foods become less expensive. We're only one of a handful of countries where the quality foods are more expensive than all of the processed things.
Yeah.
So if we can change the incentive structure where they are penalized, or that it changes even the cost of those foods for the end consumer to say it's less expensive for me to get the apples and transport the apples than it is the Ritz crackers, then I think that's how we make a dent. Sorry for my soapbox, everybody.
No.
But
I mean, it's important. It's an important distinction when you see these ingredients.
Yeah. So Ritz crackers is another one on here. There's a bunch of these. I'll post a bunch of these on the Salad with the Side of Fries Instagram when we post about this episode, so you guys can see even some that we don't talk about. This one's interesting, the Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola in 2000, sugar, water, carbon dioxide, and their Coca-Cola extract.
Right, which is like their secret ingredient, right?
Right, well, and it's their flavorings and you know, their syrup.
Yeah.
Okay? Today, water, sugar, carbon dioxide, artificial coloring, caramel, E150D, acidifier, phosphoric acid, natural flavors including caffeine.
I used to drink soda. I don't drink soda, so I don't know what it tastes like today. And to be honest, I think somebody gave me a Diet Coke once, and I like couldn't even drink it because it was like, gross.
Yeah. All right. Do you remember Magnum ice cream?
They still are around. I like a Magnum.
Okay, 1994.
I didn't know they were around then. I thought they were new.
No. I remember eating them in Israel, like when I was in high school in the 90s.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Magnum, classic, 1994 ingredients: milk, cream, sugar, cocoa butter, cocoa mass, vanilla, and the emulsifier is lecithin.
Okay.
2025 Magnum Classic, reconstituted skim milk, cocoa butter, sugar, coconut oil, glucose fructose syrup, cocoa mass, emulsifiers E471, sunflower lecithin, stabilizers E410, E412, E407, and natural flavorings.
Wow.
I think you might be E407 deficient.
Maybe. I think so.
Said no one
No
ever.
one ever. Oh my gosh. Well,
I know.
Did you hear the thing too? Like the Reese's, which like broke my heart because I love a Reese's. The founder or one of the sons of the founder was saying it came out with all this Easter candy that some of the Reese's didn't use real milk chocolate. They used something, and they just, so you have to look at your bag when you buy it really carefully. If it says peanut butter and milk chocolate, that's legit. But if it just says peanut butter and a chocolate coating, it's not milk chocolate. So he got really upset about that.
I mean, I don't blame him.
Rightfully so. I was upset. So now I look at my bags of Reese's and make sure they're like real milk chocolate.
Or then I just buy dark chocolate and put a spoonful of peanut butter on the piece of dark chocolate.
Yeah, not the same though. Sometimes you just
I know,
need
they're
that.
not the same. They're not the same. I know. But in a movie, go for the Reese's, whatever.
Yeah.
But at home, if it's more often, I'm like making it work.
Yeah. You
Chocolate
make it
peanut butter is a great combination no matter what.
right. But when you have it and you're like excited to buy your Reese's egg for Easter, you get once a year and you want it to be real chocolate.
Fair.
Yeah.
All right. I think this now brings us to diet culture of the 90s versus now. What's the first thing you think of with diet culture from then?
Oh, thin is in. Cocaine skinny, the Kate Moss.
Yep.
I mean, all those celebrities
Yeah.
and just being, but I feel like we've come to that point again.
Exactly. So we are back to thin at all costs. It is the only thing that matters, and the thinner, the better.
Mm-hmm. Like skeletal skinny.
And it's so sad to me that pendulum has swung back.
Oh, yeah. Because we went through so many years in like the 2010s, late 2000s, where it was like
The Dove campaign.
Yeah, body positivity and curves are beautiful. They even had like workout studios called Curves for that reason.
Oh, yeah. Remember that?
And then it was all about the athletic and the fitness craze. And now it's just like, let's look as thin as possible.
So back then in the 90s, I suppose there were actors and stuff that were on magazine covers, but it was really the supermodels that drove all of that.
Yeah. The original supermodels, like Cindy Crawford.
So, exactly. So Naomi Campbell, Cindy Crawford, Linda Evangelista, Christy Turlington.
Oh, yeah.
Claudia Schiffer.
Yeah.
Kate Moss.
Oh, yeah.
Today, I think it's almost more celebrity driven than I think like supermodels or cover models.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's part of the skeletal thin piece that we're seeing at every award show and everything, even the Met Gala, like all of these things. But on the modern day supermodel, it's Gigi and Bella Hadid, Kendall Jenner. And then there were some other names that the internet told me that I don't know who these people are.
But even like reality TV shows now is like you watch like the first season of a show and then the second season, the people are like half their size.
Right.
But it's like you didn't see that before. It was like they just look like normal people.
And I think the medication weight loss has exacerbated this, but even the trends that we've seen, even a lot of stuff that we just talked about. The 90s was low fat, no fat, low calorie, eat less, move more stuff.
And like have a cigarette for dinner.
Right. Now, the trend is in the eating clean, protein packed, all of those trends. I mean, we've talked about them over and over on Salad with a Side of Fries over the last almost 7 years of this show, which is also wild. And I just think we have to recognize these as the same thing by a new name. And if we can start to recognize them as the same thing as a new name, right now it's optimization. Now it's biohacking, the wellness piece. Like we also developed orthorexia as a disease state, right? Where we're taking the healthful choices to an extreme. And with the addition, like I just think when you have all of those pieces and then you add the medication, it's, I don't know if insult to injury or icing on the cake, but it's just layers upon layers that I think is turning this tide back faster and faster and faster.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I see all these influencers now and people being skinny and it's like Diet Coke is having a moment again. It's like, well, I just had a Diet Coke for lunch because I'm on a GLP-1. Right. And I feel like in the 90s, it was like Diet Coke and a cigarette. That was like a lunch for like the supermodels. And that's what you would see.
And even today with, again, then it was magazine covers. Now it's social media. And I get that I am part of this industry. I make a very concerted effort to not contribute to a lot of these things. It's part of why I loathe the what I eat in a day things, because it becomes these, well, I should just eat that.
Right.
Or I'm eating more than that. Right. Like that's just the same 90s nonsense in a new filter.
And also people realize like people lie on those too. They're like, oh, what can I make that I have today? But I really don't eat that.
Right.
Or I eat that once in a blue moon. But normally I have like a rice cake. Rice cakes were huge in the 90s.
Rice cakes are still huge. Also part of our April Fools. And there's a nutrition nugget on rice cakes also. I think the other piece that's the same with maybe, I don't even know if this one has a different frame, but even the perfectionism, like we talked about the Special K diet. It was a bowl for breakfast, a bowl for lunch, and a, in air quotes, sensible dinner.
Yeah, like a piece of grilled, steamed fish and vegetables, and then that's it.
I once did a medical weight loss thing through a hospital that was a bar shake for breakfast, a bar shake for lunch, and then, air quotes, sensible dinner. Gained weight.
Yeah. Because you're hungry. Your body is like starved for calories. And then when you eat, they're like, oh my God, we're getting real food. And then it's starving. Like I would be starved.
I think it's a slippery slope as we have this 90s nostalgia. And I wonder, I don't know, what's your opinion? Do you think that the 90s nostalgia is creating some of the heroin chic that's in now? Or is the heroin chic that's in now sparring some of the 90s nostalgia?
That's a good question. I mean, I think a little bit of both, because I think the new generation is just so fascinated by the 90s that they're like, oh, I'm going to try to like emulate that. And like,
Well, they can take their mom jeans back. I don't need them.
Yeah. The mom jeans and like, yeah, it's
Jenkos. I mean, listen, some of the wide leg pants now are very Jenkos. And we were having this conversation before these kids even knew what Jenkos were. I remember being like, apparently Jenkos are back.
I mean, I think with the food and the nostalgia for that, like, our generation is kind of longing for what we're kind of calling the good old days. Because I think right now, especially post-COVID, like things just feel like off. And I think we're trying to grasp anything we can. So like I see some of the food parallels and things that are coming back. Like they're bringing back the OG Pizza Hut. Like with like all the lighting and the buffet with like the dessert pizza that was like freaking delicious. Because people are like craving these things from the 90s. So I appreciate that. But like all of the like heroin stuff, they even said like smoking is back again because now kids are not like vaping was cool at once. Now people aren't vaping. Now they're going back to tobacco. And I'm like, oh no.
Because they're not drinking.
Oh no.
Which also isn't a great choice. I mean, none of them are great choices. But like, yeah, I think you're right. Like wrapping this up, I also have this nostalgic piece of, to your point, going back to something that felt a little more wholesome, a little less like the world is on fire. Because today it does feel every single day like, you know, the game The Floor is Lava from the 90s?
Yeah.
Like I literally feel sometimes like our world right now is the floor is lava.
Yeah.
And so maybe part of this nostalgic piece is getting to that to help us feel not so like we're jumping from pillow to pillow. At the same time, I find it really frustrating. I think because I'm in this space and I'm having these conversations every single day, it's frustrating to explain to people that like your kid eating the same things that you ate as a kid is not actually the same thing.
No.
It's frustrating to try to explain that like the ad, I just had this conversation with a client this morning that like, he saw this ad for this supplement that's promising to like bring his blood sugar into balance. And he's like, but it sounds so great and perfect. And I'm like, yes. And some of those things can be helpful and you're taking supplements to support these things. And we need that to be part of the sleep and the stress management and the quality food choices. Like, as we say all the time, you're not going to supplement your way out of all of these other things. So I find it heartwarming and frustrating at the same time. And I know like normally when I try to like wrap these up, I want to give everybody something to like hold on to. So maybe if what we can hold on to is that this is real, it's not in your head, and maybe this conversation is food for thought and helps us, I don't know, create a way maybe of talking to our kids, nieces and nephews, friends, you know, to be in this conversation of recognizing and calling out the heroin chic that's back and having conversations around it so that we can consider the example that we're setting and consider the input that these kids are getting.
I mean, the processed foods and like even when we talk back to the handy snacks and like this and all the stuff, like I was also thinking, preparing for this episode, I'm like, our generation, unfortunately, has like a higher risk of like these colon cancers and all this stuff. And part of that is some of the chemicals or some of the foods or the plastics and stuff that we ate. I mean, look at James Van Der Beek. And
the fiber. I mean, we've talked about this. You and I did that episode together about America's fiber problem. And we've even talked about it in the episode about Parkinson's and the stool, that they can see from the stool sample what kind of Parkinson's you have, because, you know, the microbiome is different. And all of these things are really just exacerbating everything that we're experiencing now and what we're going to experience later on.
And I think in the 90s, it was also all about convenience. Like most of our parents, when we grew up in the 90s,
for sure,
80s and 90s, both parents were working. Like their generations, it was like, you know, usually they had at least a parent home making all the food. So it was like parents would come home from work. You're trying to shuffle your kids to whatever after school activity or whatever. So it's like, what's convenient? It's those kids' cuisines. It's the have a Pop-Tart to go off to school versus like making like a breakfast, eggs and whatever every day. And it's like, I think we're kind of back to that like convenience.
Well, we are. And I see it Because kids, I mean, we had a lot of activities. Kids now are so scheduled.
I mean, yeah,
crazy. And it's funny because we go, oh, well, I ate the mac and cheese. Great. This one's a single serving mac and cheese in the microwave.
Yeah. Versus, and we never had any of that. It was like mom made the SpaghettiOs and mom made this. And it's like, everything now is.
I think it's just an awareness piece so that maybe as we're on this nostalgia trend, maybe we can go back even a step further to the glass and ceramic.
Yeah.
Less microwave.
Yeah.
Whole foods.
We made popcorn on the stove.
Yes.
Or we had a popcorn machine.
Yeah. For sure. All right. Well, I hope this gives everybody food for thought. Are you ready to hear about our nutrition nugget?
Yeah.
All right. So on Friday, this week's bite-size bonus episode, we're talking about Weo Smart Foods double chocolate chip muffin.
Oh.
So speaking of these packaged foods.
Yeah.
So this one came from Marianne on Instagram. By the way, if you have an idea, send it in. Website is asaladwithasideoffries.com or all social media. I'm at Jenn Trepeck. If you want it to be covered sooner, priority is given to the Happy Healthy Hub members. So become a member. We'll get your nutrition nugget request or whatever topic sooner. Anyway, Marianne sent this in. She said she looked at the label herself, compared it to their claims, and found a major discrepancy.
Ooh.
So her question is this possible or is it a gimmick? So we're going to look at them together and decide on Friday in this week's bite-sized bonus episode. So be sure wherever you're listening, click the plus sign or the follow button so that your app alerts you on Friday morning when the Nutrition Nugget goes live. All right, friends. Well, as always, I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck. Connect with me on all social media. I'm at Jenn Trepeck, JennTrepeck. Website is asaladwithasideoffries.com. Pick your platform, send a message because I truly love hearing from you, your takeaways, your ideas, your questions. This is also the easiest way to learn more about working with me as your coach. Steph, thanks again for being here this week.
Thanks for having me. I love the 90s throwback. It's always fun.
I know. And this nutrition nugget is still a little 90s throwback of like mini muffins.
There's your SnackWells. Oh my God, those mini muffins.
Maybe these are the SnackWells.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Amazing. Well, of course, everybody, if you are not a member, join us in the Happy Healthy Hub. You'll go to asaladwithasideoffries.com/membership. This shows your support for this podcast, this community, and your health, on top of access to the community board where you can interact, ask and answer questions, so much more. Get your nutrition nugget ideas out there first. Also, you get discounts, curated content, and then this week's recipes for the healthier hamburger helper and the fruit leather. So until next week, remember, times move forward, and yet it seems with diet culture, there's a cycle. With food ingredients, there seems to be a cycle too. So let's consider if the newer versions truly serve us.
Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.